at St Peter's Church in Acton Green. I'm going to find out more about Ballet for Life and their upcoming performance of Apollo with the Nonesuch Orchestra. Donna, could you tell us a little bit more about Ballet for Life?
Yes, certainly, my pleasure. So about 14 years ago, I founded what is now called Ballet for Life. I had looked around to see if there was any suitable place for adults to do proper training in dance in Greater London, and there really wasn't much. Maybe there were a few little places. So I thought, I have a very young child. Would be a really nice venture to start classes locally, and I could ride my bike to class and pick my son up at nursery. So I started with one class a week, and I hired the Rambert Dance Company studios. And now 14 years later, we have 3 and 4 classes every day. We have ballet courses, we have guests, we have contemporary and ballroom and Latin, and all sorts of satellites have spun off of it. But the ethos was always to have sort of affordable, proper, friendly, welcoming tuition for adults in London.
So the performance that you're going to be doing, is that a spin-off of the classes, or how did that come about?
Yeah, that's a brilliant question, actually. So one of my attendees is in an orchestra which is called the Nonesuch Orchestra. It's a charity organization. And last year, Ballet for Life had been a sponsor of one of their concerts at the Bedford Park Festival. And I was invited to go see it. And I did, and I was in a beautiful concert it was Vivaldi Four Seasons, and at the end I met the conductor and I just said, the only thing missing is dance. And little did I know that half a year later, they would come to me and say, by the way, we really like that idea. And I said, wonderful. And then they said, we're thinking of Stravinsky's Apollo, which is this magical, huge piece that's already been choreographed by a famous choreographer. And I was like, but then anyway, I accepted the wonderful offer.
And I understand that you've re-choreographed the original dance sequence. Could you tell me what inspired you to redo it?
So, the music is, for me, the point of inspiration. So I started to immerse myself in the score from the beginning of the new year. And then I started to visualize themes. I reflected on the mythological characters, but I wanted to bring them into the modern world, and I wanted to also embrace and use the personalities of the people that I would be choreographing on and try to tap into their quirks and their strengths, whilst also, honoring the music and honoring this grand ballet that was made by Georges Balanchine, which I know and danced and been part of in different companies in the world, but also not to, not tried to be that, but just be myself and just trust that I can respect these traditions and have them color what I do, have a little bit of confidence that I could bring my vocabulary into this epic score. So we'll see how I did.
And also there is a performance going on in Turnham Green for children as well.
Exactly,
Could you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, so that's another exciting aspect of this whole thing, is that we will have 2 performances as part of the Bedford Park Festival down at St. Michael's and All Angels, in which we are working with school children, local school children. We've been choreographing on them, teaching them the moves that the older dancers do, and getting them involved in the whole project. And that's been a real challenge, because we've had to zip around all over West London and get everyone together, and this time of year everyone's so busy. So they will perform with us. There's also musicians from the local schools doing some music work with the orchestra. So it's a little bit of also an educational experience, an interactive experience, and hopefully inspirational experience for them to perform with us.
So could you tell me a bit about the performance that is going to be happening here at St Peter's Church?
Yes, of course. So when we were putting all this effort in to create the performances for the Bedford Park Festival with the school children, we thought, it's such a shame to just have not an additional performance with the orchestra together, the dancers, everyone pulling together, all that time and effort. So we started to think, what could we do? So we came up with an idea. We approached St. Peter's Church of Acton Green. This is also where Ballet for Life's home is, so we have a nice rapport with them. And we sussed it out to see was the date available, how much would the hire be, and so forth and so on. And they were very open to this idea. So then we decided to then sort of independently produce an additional performance that still is fundraising for charity, but is not under the umbrella of Bedford Park Festival, but just an add-on, just to kind of take advantage of all the impetus that we had built up.
If I was interested in joining these classes, but I'm a complete beginner, what kind of advice do you have?
Yes, so that's our specialty, is welcoming complete beginner adult learners. We have complete beginner ballet courses that go through the basics from the ground up in this really friendly, kind of accessible way, but still proper and structured and intelligently delivered and taught with, lots of preparation. The courses are geared for the adult body, so they're not something I would give a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old. And we have them in the evenings for people who work. We have them on Saturdays for people who can't get to a class in the evenings, and we have them for people who aren't working full-time or who have flexible schedules. We have daytime beginner courses as well. So it's just really come along and try one. We have tasters once in a while, or you can just come and do a taster on a course. I would say 95% of the people that come visit or do a taster, they end up joining, and they really enjoy it.